right, what's up, guys? Sanj here, and welcome back to another episode of Bodybuilding News Today. And in today's episode, I wanted to talk about what we hope to see in terms of conditioning at this year's 2020 Europa Pro, aka the Spain Pro. So if you guys are interested, make sure you guys stay tuned. So first off, I did forget to mention Jamie Christian-johal, aka so I always say AKA and then their Instagram title, but it's actually AKA the Giant is his Instagram handle. So I'm sorry, it's probably a terrible dad joke, but anyways, so obviously we want to start off with talking about Big Ramy. He's definitely the favorite to win this show, and for the most part, Big Ramy's been competing for, in the pro circuit at least, around 8 years now, and he's been bringing consistently this world-class, absolute mass with class. And the way I'm looking at it is he's pretty much going to be unchallenged to win this show in the mass department. I think that if Ramy brings any relevance of grainy conditioning and separations, he should be able to get that nod. But a lot of people have been critiquing him when it comes to Ramy getting on the Olympia stage, and we're not actually going to talk about that here. We're going to talk about Big Ramy potentially winning a pro show and qualifying for the Mr. Olympia this year. Now, I do expect Big Ramy to bring a relative amount of size and conditioning. He normally brings pretty good conditioning, in my opinion. Obviously, not Frank Zane level, Munzer level shredding conditioning. But I do expect him to come in big and full, and I definitely expect him to get this nod for winning the Europa Pro this year, unless he really drops the ball. But if you looked at his Instagram lately, he does have some pretty impressive diet face going on right now. Lots of depletion, it looks like. So I definitely have him. I have him in the top 3. If he does not win, I would be shocked. And when we're looking at the rest of these competitors, we're mostly going to be getting a lot of big boys. For the most part, we are going to be looking at a lot of big boys coming into this show. Obviously, being an open class show, you're going to have these mass monsters, these big full fellas. But I don't really see any crazy conditioning, any crazy separations and striations that you might see on other stages throughout the year. Now, don't get me wrong, these are going to be world-class athletes, some of the best in their respective sports, but I have to be honest when I'm looking at conditioning, and that's exactly what I'm going to do today. So I'm going to kind of rate conditioning as number 1 in conditioning. I think that's going to come in with the best striations and separations. In no particular order, I have Lucas Osladil, I have Rafael Brandao, and I'm going to go on a ledge and say Andrea Muzi, just because when you look at his Instagram, it looks like he's made a lot of progress from last year. He looks a lot bigger. He looks very dieted. The veininess, that rugged look. He has a nice rugged look going right now, and hopefully finishing up the rest of his prep. A little over a week left. I really do hope that he nails it and brings even better conditioning that he already has now. And for Lucas Osladil, a very veteran competitor, he's always brought good conditioning, separations, striations. He's never been shy with that. Minus one of the shows last year, I wasn't too impressed, but his Vancouver showing in 2019 was absolutely fantastic. So I definitely hope to see some remnants of that showing here in the Europa Pro, but you never really know. But I will go on a ledge and say that Lucas Osladil is going to place very well at the Europa Pro this year. And we're just going to go down the line. A quick update on everyone here. James Christian-johal is looking good. I'm honestly, I really think he could diet a lot more. Looking at this photo from 13 hours ago, I'll refresh his page just in case I missed something. But he looks very good. He looks big and full. He looks tall. He doesn't look very conditioned from this side chest, so it does make me worry a little bit, but you can see a little bit of separations in the quads, in the abdominals, and in that inner pectoral region. You can see the striations there. So he does look like he is in shape, but is he in the right conditioning to get a first place call out at this year's Europa Pro? And that's going to be the question I'll have to ask you guys. What do you guys think about? What do you think about Jamie's placings going to be coming up here in a little over a week from now? Do you think he's going to make the first call out? Comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Next on the list is Regan Grimes. But getting back to Regan Grimes, I'm not really seeing it here on this photo. Let's go ahead and refresh his page just in case he has posted more recently, which he has. We'll get to the new post in a second. But on his post from a day ago, doing kind of a front lat relaxed, there's not a lot to talk about here. The chest looks very watery. The midsection is visible, but I don't think he's ever really had an issue with showing abdominals. That has been one of his strong suits. I'd really like to see maybe a recent front double. He does have a motivational video from Nicardo Vision Motivation on his page. I'm not really sure. I'm not going to spend the time to watch it right now. But I'm really hoping that he brings some crazy conditioning. I don't think that he's going to get the same nod as he did at Japan that he might not get or might get here. I don't think that's going to happen. I think there's too much talent, too much experience on this Europa stage this year. I don't think that he's going to get any favors from the judges. Moving into, as I already mentioned him just a second ago, Rafael Brandao is coming into the Europa Pro looking absolutely fantastic. He has not been shy from the spotlight, been posting an absolutely amazing amount of content here. Lots of videos, a lot of side chest, front most muscular, hand clasped. And when you look at this photo, well, actually it's a video from 2 days ago. Like the other guys, I'll refresh his page just in case. But if you look at this video, from 2 days ago, and he's doing his front and relaxed, front most muscular, hands clasped in the black shirt and black hat, you can just see the striations, the feathering in the front anterior delts and in the chest. You can see the graininess in the upper pectoral regions and the large veins and also the smaller veins on his forearms and his biceps. Is absolutely fantastic. His conditioning is amazing. His shape is, in my opinion, flawless. And he is going to be one of my favorites for this show. Now, obviously, based off of last year and in this year, he does still look like he's a little smaller, but I feel like that's more of a frame, I don't want to say issue, but he's built differently than the other competitors. It's just tough to compare him to the other open bodybuilders. He's such an anomaly. But I do see him placing very well at this show. I definitely look forward to seeing him in the top 3. If he's not in the top 3, I'd be very disappointed. In the judging maybe? I don't know. We're really going to have to tell when they actually get on stage at the Europa Pro. Next on the list, James Hollingshead, or Hollingshead. And after refreshing his page, it looks like he's posted 5 hours ago a side chest shot. Now, James is no stranger to posting these gym photos with the perfect lighting. James is probably one of my favorite bodybuilders to listen to, and maybe that is a bias that I've developed, unfortunately, because when you look at his record, really, the best placing recently, I think, based off of photos, was his 3rd place finish at the 2019 Big Man Weekend, where he actually competed against Rafael Brandao as well. And what can we say about that showing? He looked good, but there was no standout features for the most part. But as he has switched to coaching, having his coach as Patrick Tour now, it does look like he has put on a lot of size. I mean, a measurable amount of size, a visual amount of size in his leg department, chest, shoulders. I thought that his biceps looked a little watery last year at the Big Man Weekend, whereas now it does not look like that's going to be an issue. He looks like he has a lot of strong suits, and he's addressed those potential weaknesses in the offseason with his coach, Patrick Tour. And if you guys didn't hear my prediction video, a week and a half out from the Spain Pro, definitely check out the channel. It's just going to be a couple videos before this one. But also, there's a lot of other bodybuilding content as well. So make sure you guys check out all those videos as well. Somebody I missed in the last prediction video, Josh Wade, a very veteran and polished bodybuilder who is no stranger to the big stages and the first callouts. He has announced that he's going to be at this year's Spain Pro, the Europa Pro, however you want to call it. And what can we say here? I wasn't, it's kind of tough to say. I wasn't crazy impressed with his showing in, it was either Tampa or New York. So they were so close together in the same venue. It's kind of tough to separate them. But I thought that he looked good, but I don't really see him in that top 3 call out where pretty much for the most part, that's where our brain is sitting right now. Who's going to be in the top 3? Who's going to be in the top 5? I could, probably not going on a limb in any terms of the imagination by saying he's going to be in the top 10 or even in the first call out. But I don't see, respectfully, I do not see Josh Wade cracking in to the top 3 or probably even the top 5. He has a nice physique. He has a nice flow to his physique, but it just isn't really tripping the trigger for me to put him in that first 5 or even that first 3. And lastly, for the video, we're going to finish up with Andrea Muzi. Now, Andrea Muzi was a guy I was sleeping on him. I didn't see him as being a potential threat for the show just off of his photos from his previous shows. It doesn't look like he's really brought conditioning that he needs to get those big wins. But it looks like based off of his Instagram photos, he looks absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Very veiny, vascular. He does have a little bit of graininess to him as well. And it looks like he's rocking a lot of Yamamoto gear as well. Good for him having that big brand sponsor. And I don't see, now you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I guess it's more of an opinion if anything. I don't really see any major lagging weaknesses when it comes to Andre, his physique. The side chest looks absolutely fantastic. The hamstring drop on that shot as well looks fantastic. And even this photo from September 21st on his Instagram page where he's doing the just a relaxed hands on thigh or hands on hip shot, very aesthetic. Kind of reminds me of a Flex Lewis, maybe a bigger version of him. And even again on September 12th, September 12th was quite a while ago, and he looks almost stage ready in that photo. So if he could bring any terms of his conditioning that he had on September 12th, if he can bring that just drier and more shredded and more separation, maybe in the midsection, everything else looks fantastic, honestly. If this is an up-to-date photo, I don't speak Spanish at all for the most part, so I can't really read his descriptions, but he does look fantastic in this photo. And I am going to go on a ledge and say he's going to be in the top 5. I think he has the size. It definitely does look like he has the conditioning to get that good placing. So best of luck to Andre. And honestly, best of luck to everyone. Again, if I missed your favorite athlete coming into this Europa Pro, this 2020 IFBB Spain Pro, whatever you want to call it, comment below or message me on Instagram at Sanch_ with their name or their tag or whatever, so I can go and check them out. My number one goal here on this channel is to put athletes in front of fans, put fans in front of athletes. My number one goal on this channel is to put athletes in front of fans, putting fans in front of athletes, helping that interaction. So if you guys have someone that you'd like me to talk about or someone you'd like me to highlight in an upcoming show, comment below or message me on Instagram, like I said, and I'd be glad to do that. And that will do it for another episode of Bodybuilding News today. I really do appreciate you guys stopping and watching the entire video. If you guys enjoyed the video, consider liking the video. And if you enjoy bodybuilding news in general, consider subscribing to the channel. We have lots more content coming out in the future. And if you guys would like to support me on a personal level, you guys can always go to goldenarrownutrition.com and you can use my sponsored athlete code SANCH15 at checkout. And that will do it, guys and gals. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.